Here's a few forwards that their value's really falling right now in fantasy basketball. The first one's Robert Covington of the Portland Trailblazers. Robert Covington, he was great last season with the Houston Rockets last year. But this season, he just can't get things going. Last year, he averaged 4 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.3 blocks with 2.5 threes a game. And this year, the number's definitely going down here for Covington. Only 6.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 threes, and an awful 35% from the field. So Covington, the struggles have continued over the last week as well, where he's only averaging 5 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. At Covington, he's not hitting the three. He's not playing well for this team, and right now he could be a drop candidate in another 2 or 3 weeks if he just keeps putting mediocre to poor performances up. His last 3 games versus Minnesota, January 7th, 3 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. At Sacramento on the 9th, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And then versus Toronto, the 11th, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 22% from the field. So Covington, his shooting has gone down a lot. His points are obviously down. He's helping out in other categories, but he's hurting you in a lot of them as well. So Covington, he's a player that stock is lowering, and it might even lower more as the season goes on, because you got C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard as the main guys over there, and also Nurkic ahead of him as well in the pecking order. So Covington, his value's definitely dropping. The next play is Blake Griffin of the Detroit Pistons. Griffin this season, he just hasn't got anything going, and he's been frustrating for fantasy owners. I own Griffin in a few leagues, and he's really struggling this year, it seems like, for him. And he's missed a bunch of games as well with a concussion early in the year. 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal a game he's averaging, 1.3 turnovers. He's hurting you bad in field goal and free throw percentage, 37% from the field and 2.1 threes and 69% from the line. So Blake Griffin, he's going to hurt in those percentages. He's not putting up huge double-doubles. He's only averaging about 6 rebounds a game. So Griffin, hopefully he'll get going now and get healthy, but his value's really dropping. And on the season, he's ranked 205th. So that's not a good thing. He's still owned in 83% of leagues. Griffin, he's a player I wouldn't drop, no doubt, but hopefully he gets it going, because his value is hitting rock bottom right now in fantasy. The next player is Terrence Ross of the Orlando Magic. Ross, he's been struggling the last week or two now for this Magic team after he came back from injury, and even fantasy owners are getting tired of him. He's been dropped in 6% of fantasy leagues this week is Ross, in the last 3 games for him have really been bad. First, Houston on January 8th, 5 points, a rebound, an assist, a steal, 2 for 9 from the field, which is 22%. Then at Dallas, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, 25% again from the field. And then on January 11th, first Milwaukee, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, and 33% from the field. So Ross, he's not scoring much now. His field goal percentage is horrendous, and he also has a bad turnover rate. So Terrence Ross, he was hot to start the year, the first 2 or 3 weeks, but now he's really take a turn for the worse, and his value's fallen. So hopefully he could bounce back as Ross, and if the struggles continue, he's a player that could be droppable in 10 to 12 team leagues. The next player whose value's definitely dropping is Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. I know Green, he's improved a little over the last few games after coming off injury, but the stats, they're just not there for Green now. Since his return in the last 2 weeks, 4.4 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, which is good, 1.3 steals, which is decent, 30% from the field and 76% from the line, and he don't give you any 3-pointers. So Draymond Green, he's been a disappointment the last couple seasons for fantasy owners with injury and just stat lines that have no impact. And once again this season, it's starting to look like that once again here for Green. Even though he's been flirting with minor triple-doubles the last couple games, he's still not the guy I have a lot of confidence in that he'll remain healthy the rest of the season or put up decent stat lines like he has in the last 2. I think we're going to see more games like Green has been having early in the year with 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists type of games. So Green, he got drafted 9th, 10th round of most leagues, but right now he's ranked 220 on the season. And I don't think he holds much value. And he's a player in the next few weeks that could be droppable if he don't improve, even though it's good to see him the last 2 games improving just a bit. And the final guy that's value's really taking a hit and falling is R.J. Barrett of the New York Knicks. Barrett, his shooting has been a total problem this season, where he's only shooting 36% from the field and 68% from the line, so that's a major issue. Barrett on the season, he's not even averaging a 3, and in the last week his points have really gone down. 12 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, 2 turnovers a game, and 30% from the field. So Barrett, and 46% from the line. Barrett, he's giving you other stats at least, but his scoring and his field goal percentage is hurting a lot of owners. And on the season, he's ranked 197, so that's not a good sign. Hopefully Barrett, he could get out of this shooting slump, because this guy, he was a top 3 pick in the NBA draft last season for a reason. But right now, the way he can't score or shoot the basketball is very troubling for the New York Knicks and fantasy owners. So that's a few forwards whose value's definitely taking a hit and falling right now in fantasy basketball.